Alrighty, guys. How is everyone doing today? It is Monday, December 12th, 2022, and I have been dealing with a horrible sickness this weekend. Been coughing up stuff like tar and whatnot. Uh, so, like, it seems tar-like, but nonetheless, um, the show must go on. I will try not to end in a fit of coughing, but here we are. All right, so let's go ahead and jump in the charts. Market has been kind of ripping, and I've already taken a couple of trades that have been really nice. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna share my screen. There we are. Screen sharing. Boom. And all right, here we go. So we're up $850 on the day already. In the paper side. On the eval, I took one trade literally moments before we started streaming. You can see it right here. So we entered at 81, got out at 81.75. And you can see that the ES is coming up, test the high of the day being 83.75. I'm not sure if that's representative here. No, it's not. But there is resistance right there. I did a fair amount of trading last night in the overnight session. So we started the day off at being up 700, and I took a little $150 trade right before, moments before the stream started. We have new contracts out. So we have quad witching on Friday. And that quad witching day is going to cause a lot of volatility, a lot of volume entering through the ES, as well as the NASDAQ and a bunch of other futures and options and all those other things. All those contracts are going to be expiring and rolling into new contracts or exiting those positions. So it is, it's likely going to be a volatile week. We've also got CPI data and Jerome Powell speeches, as well as the Fed rate hike decision for the week, or I should say for the month. So it's going to be likely a pretty volatile week, but today looks pretty good for going long. It's been pretty much bullish since last night. I would be done with that much, yeah. Sometimes Tiny, I would like to be done with that much, but also, like, if I'm done with that much, that means there's no stream. So I try to just continue to stay within my own focus and my own frequency. Basically, I go until I get brain fade. That's mainly when then it's like, all right, I'm done. Once it starts being difficult to like make trading decisions or like react, that's when it's like, okay, I should probably be done. Before that, though, I'm usually pretty okay. Extend this out to the left just because you can see that resistance right there as well. All right, so we came up, we got near the test of the highs on the 3-minute chart. So we actually we bounced off this VWAP here right around the time of the stream. Ripped up and came up and tested sort of near the high being up here, but very, very close to it. Pulled back and bounced off of the 9 EMA that you can see right there, and now we're getting another push up. So TTM3, we went from 2.6 to 3.0 to 3.0. So we can see that gradually, that leveling off right there. So that may lead us into a lower zone, or it may lead us into consolidation with a rip after. It's kind of in between. Definitely, it's going now for the lower. Could just be a pullback to the 35 and bounce off that, or it could rip back down towards VWAP. Right now, it's below the 35 and below the 50 on the 3-minute side. I'm going to switch over to the 1-minute chart and this. You can see in the 1 minute we've been stacking on TTM, but now there's that leveling off right there, and it is pulling back, at least for the moment. If it holds this support line, which it doesn't look like it's going to, but if it does, right there around 78, then we could get that bounce. If it doesn't hold this, then likely we'll be looking at a move back down towards volume weighted average price. By the way, guys, I apologize about my voice today. I'm getting better. This is probably one of the longest sicknesses I've had in years. I typically don't ever get sick. It's not common for me. Outside of medical issues that I've dealt with, getting sick like flu and cold and stuff is not common. So 2.5 to 2.5. We've got TTM is basically flattening out and then switching to blue. But you can see some push up happening right there, bouncing off that 35. A lot of volatility in this. I don't know what the volume's like. Let's take a look. Volume is decent today. It's not overly abundant, but it's not down either. So I think it's still pretty decent. There's definitely some volatility though within each candle. We're gonna go slow today and probably all week, but so far so good. Also, guys, we have a decent amount of good music though. Music is a little loud over my voice. I'm sorry. Let's go ahead and reduce that. Hopefully that's better music. It's a little challenging to get it right with this other player, but at least it doesn't turn off. Alrighty, we are getting a rip back up. Nice bounce off 35. Now we're coming up to test 80. I said 35. The EMA 35 is what I meant. So now we're coming up to test the 80 zone. There's 80 there, 79.50. And I'm running into resistance at 80. You can see the push back down. Bulls and bears are battling it out here. I'm not interested in being cannon fodder for their battle. So I'll just wait till they figure it out. Kind of sideways right now. Indicators are not exactly particularly easy to read at the moment. They are in bullish move, but they're also really close to each other. So because everything's close to each other, it doesn't necessarily make it particularly easy to read. And that's made clear by that rip back down, which is congruent with the TTM moving downward on the one. Rejected 39.80, pulling back down to 78, and again looking for a bounce off the 50 EMA on the 1 minute chart. It's looking to do a potential crossover of the 5200, but there's a lot of downward pressure that's happening, and that downward pressure may prevent that crossover from taking place. In fact, you can see the 9 dipping below the 12. And when that 9 dips below the 12 or dips up, like spikes above it, it usually gives us a momentum move to whatever direction the yellow is pointing. This is a pretty heavy yet volatile move. You can see it finding support along 78 while at the same time getting hammered down to 77 and pushing back up to 78 over and over again. It's really kind of riding this 50 EMA, but with that large of a wick on both sides. I'm not going to get into any sort of trade on this one yet. Going to look for something that is a little bit more obvious. TTM3 looking like 2.9 to 2.3, down to 1.6 on the current. We won't have a new candle till 42, which is in about 2.5 minutes. Still riding along the 50 EMA on both the 3 and the 1. Just gonna check in with the comments all. By the way, if y'all chilling, y'all hanging out, make sure you like, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications. Tiny, I hope the music was better. Still trying to get the music entered into the platform itself, but I'm having issue with it going to the next track, so it'll play one track and then stop. So still haven't quite got that dialed in yet. But if we can get it integrated to the platform, the streaming platform, it'll just make everything easier. We did manage to push up above 230 subscribers this weekend, so thank you every single one of you guys, all 232 of you who wanted to be a part of this community, who wanted to support the channel by subscribing to it. Thank you very much. I'm very grateful, and I just very grateful about the whole thing. So thank you guys very much. I appreciate that. If you have not subscribed yet, please like this video, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications. So change it over to all so that you can get all the notifications from the channel and know when we go live. Yeah, the levels do seem troubling sometimes. It can be a bit challenging, honestly, with the levels. I'm trying to get everything dialed in, but it's not exactly easy. Because a lot of times I'm doing it from a Windows Media Player perspective. Coming back to the charts, and you can see that we're still cooling off in the TTM, but it's still finding support along 78 and battling 80. My apologies if I'm coughing a lot on stream. Like I said, I was dealing with some pretty bad, like, coughing a lot of stuff up this weekend. I'm almost better. I can feel that I'm almost better, but it's like I had a little bit of a relapse last week where it just came all back, but came back differently. So gratefully I don't have a fever or anything. Coming up on 7:42, so we have a brand new 3-minute candle. Right now, there's just no obvious move for me. That's why I'm not taking any trades. Everything has been kind of wicking out. This is looking a little bit better now after this period of consolidation and pullback. On the 3-minute chart, we'll have to see if we get like a momentum switch. Looks like we're pulling back some again. Like I said, this is exactly why I'm not entering trades at this particular moment, because it's just ranging from like 78 to 80 and back and forth. So that kind of level of consolidation being that tight, I don't really want to trade through. I'm looking for momentum moves that happen like this bounce off of VWAP here that happened that we got a piece of. We're up 850 in the sim, and we're up 165 in the evaluation. Looking to make around 500 in the evaluation, maybe a little more if we're having a good day. On the sim side, I'm usually looking to make about 3,000, so that'll be the hope for the day. But we'll see. Okay, we are breaking over that 80 point finally after all that consolidation for about 15 minutes. Pulling back to 80, but this looks a little bit better for a push upward. I'm going to switch over to the 1-minute chart and take a look at to see how our momentum is working out here. So we had actually switched to a red candle, and we're getting a push on a red candle on the TTM side, the TTM1. So likely we're going to get a pullback here. We did switch to a cyan, so 9 is above 12. If we do get a pullback, it's going to be very small. Joining the bid here off of 81. And I'm looking to just scalp mostly today. Entered at 81 and got a micro pullback on that, but not much. Pushing back up. Switching to the evaluation side. So we did switch to cyan. We did get that trade just now, so we're up 1,000 in the sim. There's not very much momentum. If you look at this, the 0.03 on the cyan, so basically flat, to 0.3, 0.2 on the TTM. It's not very strong in terms of the momentum, but there is a lot of buyer activity you can see on the bulls versus bears chart. So that little push up didn't last. Pushed up to 82, and now it's pulling back. I can see a pullback maybe to the 9, potentially, and then bouncing off of that. We're pulling back down to about 81 in that range with a cooling candle on the TTL. So we may pull back to the 9 and bounce. Considering taking a trade there on the sim side, but not on the evaluation. Entered at 79.50, which is right along the 9 EMA. And we're down 1 tick. Now 2. I'm going to keep my risk very tight today. Coming up on 7:45 or 7:46, so new candle, which means we got a new 3-minute candle as well. Okay, so we did get that trade. There's another 150 in the pocket, and it did bounce off the 9, but it pulled back a little under the 9. Pulled back really to the 26 and bounced. But it was still a very nice trade. We got in at 79.50. We're up at 81.25. So it's kind of a perfect little trade. I'm sticking on scalping today, and we're only trading 4 contracts, so our size is lower than what we normally trade. But we're still up $1,150 in the sim. You can see coming up hint resistance at 82. I can't trust the TTM right now on the 1-minute chart because the numbers are too close together. So I can't trust that indicator at this particular point in time. When I'm using the TTM, I'm looking for stuff like this, where you see it switch like solidly from red to yellow, and it went from 3.5 red to 2.1 yellow. Like, that's a very solid switch, but it's very obvious that there's going to be upward move. But when it kind of levels off, it's very challenging, and it's kind of a lot less useful in that regard. Switching out to the 5-minute chart and seeing what we got going on. 5 minutes been continuing to stack in the TTM slowly but surely, 11.8 to 11.9 to 12.4 to 12.9 on the current. So we moved up half a point on the from 740 to 745. Just got a new 3-minute candle, so let's jump that. 1.4 to 1.6 on this 3. But you see it's stacking TTM while pulling back on charts. Doesn't make a lot of sense. That's why I'm saying it's a little it's not, I don't know that I could trust this indicator right now at this moment where the chart is at. What's up, Adam? Good to see you. What I do know, guys, is you can make it. See, the cup says so, so you can make it. Ah. Yeah, dude, I hope I feel better too, man. This has been like weeks, like 2 weeks, and I never get sick, dude. Like outside of medical issues, like I don't get sick. It's just not. It's not. It doesn't happen to me. So it's been kind of frustrating. Um, by the way, guys, if y'all are looking to earn funding the futures market, make sure you check out Elite Trader Funding. Elite Trader Funding is awesome. These guys provide amazing customer service. They also allow you to earn funding as low as 10K and as high as $300,000. So thank you guys very much to anybody who is on the journey with me. I appreciate having a community to journey along this together. Personally, I'm working on the 50K evaluation, which allows me 8 contracts in the mini and a $3,000 profit target with a $2,000 drawdown. There is a link in the description and a promo code JSBEST that you guys can use to lock in a lifetime discount on there. So make sure you guys check out Elite Trader Funding if you guys are looking to earn funding in the futures market. Let's go ahead and check in with our market and see if I love coffee too, and see if the consolidation period is starting to kind of turn back around and give us a momentum direction that we can trust a little bit more. Adam, I was actually talking some weeks back about potentially starting like a coffee company, like where a certain portion of the profits go to support like a particular thing. And I don't know if y'all would be interested in that. But if it is something that I decide to do, it'll probably be in a couple of months from now. But I would totally like. I love coffee. I've loved coffee my whole life. I'm from the Pacific Northwest, and we basically are born with like coffee tubes at the hospital. So that's just part of being from the Pacific Northwest is coffee. It's like part of the culture, and I've always loved it. Like the smell of it brings a lot of peace and a lot of joy and a lot of calmness to me. And so why not start a coffee company, because I love coffee. So if that's something that you guys think would be fun or interesting or anything like that, just let me know. Like you'd be like, yeah, I would love some coffee. Just type that in the chat. I would love some coffee. Just see who wants to type that. All right, so we are getting a pullback to the VWAP, pretty close to it anyway. On the 3-minute chart here, you can see we're just riding right above the VWAP, and you can see the TTM went almost completely flat. It's at blue, like dark blue, but it's practically flat. We pulled all the way down to 75, and we're kind of bouncing a little bit off of that, but definitely battling an upward move. Switching to 5-minute charts, and you can see on the 5-minute chart, we're finally getting some pullback on the TTM as well. So from 2.3 to 2.2, which is not very much change. I think we're looking for the top of the hour, which is in 5 minutes. $15-minute chart, you can see was beginning to decline through this area, which was really kind of like through the open, and then into the open. And since the open, the 15-minute chart on the TTM side has been mildly declining. Had one little upwick on the TTM side from 1.19 to 1.3, and then now pulling back even more so. So when we pull back, we're looking at like the 15-minute chart. We're still in bullish move, but we can see that we're getting closer now to potentially having a trend reversal to the downside. We're pretty much bullish all night long, and now that we're in the open, coming up around 8 o'clock, we may actually end up getting a crossover here on the 15-minute chart toward the downside, and maybe a move on the TTM toward the downside. If that happens, likely we're going to pull back below the volume weighted average price and even further. This is our new contract start right here. So you can see this is where we were yesterday, and this is where we started today at 3 o'clock Pacific for the new contract, as well as the new day. We're on the ESH 23 now, which is January's contract. Let's check out the 30-minute chart and just see how this is shaping up. You could actually see the 5200 crossover on the 30-minute chart happen like right here, which was at like 8:30. What was that yesterday? Yeah, it was at 8:30 yesterday. We got that 5200 cross, which gave us a major indication of this large upward move. But since we're on a new contract, we have less data than we've had over the last 2 months, and we are getting a push up now. You can see that red to yellow move there on the TTM. Normally I trade the red to yellows on the 1 minute side. From 0.9 to 0.9 to 0.6, pulling all the way back to the 200 moving average, actually to the 26. Simple. 9 below 12. I may look to take a scalp here. I'm gonna get in around 79.5 if I can. It's moving without me. Gonna try and enter again. Got in at 79 3/4, looking for a move up to 80.5. Ooh, pulling back on that one. Down slightly in this trade. Only down $100. Now back to flat. It was on sim side. 0.5 to 0.3 on TTM. Very little movement. But we are coming up at the top of the hour, and it's looking like we're getting an opportunity here for another push. Going back to 79.25. I'm tempted to take a trade in the evaluation side. Pulling all the way back to 79. An entry off of 79 doesn't look too bad. We're popping up slightly. 0.4 to 0.3 on TTM. It's like the TTM's not moving with enough momentum to really like trust it at the moment. Let's take a look at our moving averages. We're coming up on a 1226 crossover on the current candle. 9 is above 12. It's all above 35, but it's all super close. So really, it could go in any direction, but it's looking like the move is going to go upward. 3 seconds left in this candle. 2, 1. There's a new candle opening slightly red. We're at break even on the sim side. This does look like it's gonna push, but we never know. We're super flat on TTM. Like we're basically at like 0.0001 on yellow side. So we did get that trade on the sim. It did push up. Honestly, I wish I took this in the evaluation because it would have been a nice little trade there. If I had taken it off of 79.50, like I talked about, pushed up to 81. That would have been a nice 5 ticks. Obviously, I know that's 6 ticks, but I would have gotten out before then. Moving into cyan, but just on super low momentum. And when the momentum's that small, I'm not super inclined to take the trades. Coming up on a 5200 crossover, 9 is now above 12. We also just got a 1226 crossover and a cyan switch. It's looking really good for a long move. And in fact, I'm going to go for a larger trade on this. Just going for 8 ticks. Trying to join the bid here in at 81.75, hopefully. Yeah, there we go. 81 and a half, actually. And I'm looking for that 5200 cross to work out. Hopefully it doesn't just reject there. It is kind of pulling back a little bit. That's a big pullback, actually. May have to cut this trade. Kind of at a risk level. Entered at 81 and a half, and we're down at 79 and a half. So we're down 4 ticks. 0.0 to 0.2 on the TTM. Continuing to stack slightly on TT. On the TT1. Popping up to 81.50 off of that pullback there. Movement's too tight for me to really be taking moves in the evaluation. I'm going to switch over to the 3-minute chart, and I want to see how this is stacking on TTM side. TTM is building 0.4 to 0.8 to 1.2, moving at a factor of 0.4. Again, not heavy, but it's something. Our high is 83.75. We could come up and test this high. One second left in this candle. I'm very tempted to take this trade, but because of the chop up here at this resistance zone, I'm staying out of it on the evaluation side. I'm just going to put this down at 82 and try and get out with 2 ticks on this particular trade. I think this is going to pop up though. Currently a break even on it. There we go. We got out with that 2 ticks. So we did make $100 on that on the sim side. It does look like this is going to pop, but the question is when and how much. So if y'all are chilling, y'all hanging out, and y'all like enjoying the stream, make sure you like, subscribe, and ring that bell for noties. It really does help the community grow more than you might think. Hold up at work. Hey, dude, Adam, I'm happy to be at your work. Oh, wait, I see that you pulled up at work, and now you gotta go. No worries. All right, y'all. Just give me 1 second. I'm gonna try and get some of this sickness out real fast. I will be back post haste. Uh, all right. Feels a little better. Uh, Jumping back into the charts, and we are just in time to see this begin to push back up. And that was actually our original trade right there. It ripped on through it. Now it's pulling back to 84. This is a nice rip up.
Order filled.
Joined the bid at 84 and a quarter. I'm looking for a push back up towards these highs on the valuation side. Right now, our exit point is at the top, so I don't really want it to be that high up. Pulling back more than I want to see. I put it up at 2 ticks instead of the 5 ticks that we were originally at.
Order filled.
We did get that trade on the evaluation side. We're up 268.90 in the evaluation. Good day so far. Waiting on this trade on the sim side, moving from 1.3 to 2.3 here at 803. Or sorry, 805. Let's jump to the 5-minute chart. We have a new 3-minute candle about to form here at 806. 5-minute chart looking like 3.9 to 4.7, continuing to push up. Looks like we would have got that full 5 ticks and then some. Honestly, that was like a 12-tick move. That would have been amazing in our evaluation. That would have been worth $750. But green is good, and I think that we're playing it right for the way that the market is moving today. Continuing to rip up heavy now. A lot of power coming into this move. What are we gonna do in here? Now that we're like entering in by these highs, I don't really have a lot to go off of in terms of support and resistance and whatnot. So we're gonna pull back to like a 30-minute chart here, and I'm gonna take a look at some previous support and resistance levels. You can see this 39.90 was a resistance level right here a few weeks ago. And after that, zoom in here. It's pretty much 4,000. So you can see right here on, what was this? December 9th, where we had this big rip down. You can see 39.90 was its resistance level. And that pulled all the way down to around 39.40. And on right before the contract swap, it also did the pretty much the downward move. And then we got the new contract swap, and so we're pushing up. But running into resistance here at 39.90, just like we did on Friday. I think Friday was the 9th. Yeah, that's the Civic T. So pulling back 6.5 to 7.6 on the TTM 30, and jumping into the TTM 5. You can see those new highs right there at 39.91, pulling back off the highs down to 89. 3.9 to 5.1 on the TTM 5. Jumping to the 3-minute chart, I think we may have move available up to 4,000. 2.9 to 4.2 on the TTM 3 is looking strong for a continued move up. On the 1-minute chart, you can see the pullback happening slightly. 2.5 to 3.4 to 4.7 to 5.6, moving at a factor of about 0.9. Joining the bid here. Entered at 90 3/4. Looking for a move through 91. And I'm looking for that push up to probably actually 95. But I'm going to go at 94. We could just fall down off these highs, and I hope that's not the case. But a lot of times when it pushes highs like this, it pushes pretty heavy. Back up at the high now at 91. I'm tempted yet scared to take this in my evaluation. You can see the resistance there at 91 happening, 91 and a half. So looking good on the trade, 91 and a quarter actually. 6.7 to 7.2 on TTM. So still about a half a point movement. Previous was 5.6 to 6.7, so that's 1.1. But then moving into a half a point, I don't love that. Plus we have a red wick on the high of the day. Actually ended on a doji. That's not common. I'm gonna put this right at 91 and see if we can get out. But I don't have a lot of confidence in this getting out in this zone. So I'm actually gonna cut this and take that $300 loss. No big deal. We're still up 1,500 in the sim today, so I ain't tripping. But I cut this loss because of the leveling off happening on the TTM, as well as the doji at the high. So you can see this went from 6.7 to 7.2 to 7.2, 7.3 area, and actually kind of pulling back some. So I don't regret cutting this, but you can see that there is a flag up here at the top. It was a very strong breakout from 80 up to 91. I wish we had taken a larger trade in the evaluation side, but still grateful that we took a trade and that we got something out of it. So up to 68.90 in the evaluation side, and total on the account was up 10.2620 on a profit target of 3,000. We are pulling back off these highs down to the 80s, like 87, 88. One of the best years for cars. Yeah, I could feel that it was gonna rip like that, but it was a question of when, because it popped out there for like 20 minutes before it finally did rip. But we are up nicely in all our accounts today. Let's go ahead and check out the news because there is a lot of news. Let's go ahead and refresh this page. Particularly, so today it's just the Fed 1-year inflation expectations. That happened at 11 a.m. So that was 8 a.m. Basically just now. And then we have the Fed 5-year inflation expectations. Here's a hint: it's probably going to go up. At 2 p.m. we've got the federal budget compared with November 2021, and that is at 11 p.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. But tomorrow we have consumer price index. We've got core CPI. We've got CPI year over year. We've got core CPI year over year, and the CPI excluding shelter 3-month controlling annualized rate. So I know that we have the Fed rate hike decision, or Fed rate decision, I should say. We just have a whole bunch of important stuff happening in terms of reports and news and all that, which makes sense because we're in December. On Wednesday, we've got the import price index, federal funds rate announcement. So that's that one. The funds rate. Let's see, we've got set median federal funds rate for the end of 2023, and we've got a Jerome Powell news conference on Wednesday. If you guys know, if you guys have been trading for the last couple of months, anytime Jerome Powell speaks, the market goes crazy. So that particular point in time is likely going to offer a ton of volatility. You can see Thursday is stacked up with reports, and Friday is quad witching day. So big week this week. A lot of stuff on the docket. Good luck on your short. We pull back to the 9 EMA. We're kind of bouncing slightly off of it on cooling candles on 2TM. 7.1, 6.8 to 6.3, 5.9 to 5.6. So we are moving down, but not at much of a rate. Moving at like 0.3, which is not a huge downward rate. 87.5 or so was our bounce right off the 9 EMA, and we're bouncing up to 89. Now pulling back to 88.5. So what's that, about 5 ticks there? 87.25 up to 88.5 or so. Yeah, it's like 5 ticks. Switch to the 3-minute chart. Slow movement today, but kind of predictable movement, so that's cool. 4.2 to 4.9 to 5.5 to 5.7 on the TTM3. So definitely some leveling off there. May consider taking a short down to this 9 EMA, which is down at 85. Going to go short there. I'm short off 88. And I was looking for a move down to 85, but I'll settle for 87. Short off 88. Basically shorting this off of the idea that we're at 5.6 to 5.7 on the TTM3. It's almost going flat and even kind of pushing down slightly. We're actually just kind of flattening out. So we've come one tick away from our sell order like 3 times. So we haven't hit 87 yet. I could just cut it here and take this $100. I think I'm just gonna do that. Made 50 off of that one. So we're up 1550 on the day. I think our high was 1800 on the day. 5.6 to 5.7 on the TTM3. Next one's coming at 818, which is in about 1 minute. Jump into the 5. You can see the 5 is beginning to cool. It's jumping back and forth between a cooling candle and a cyan candle. 5.9 down to 5.8 on the TTM5. Continuing to pull back slightly. It's like we could have got that full short and tapped 87. Here's the cue though. Do we pop off this? I was thinking a pull back to 85 would be ideal, and then bounce off of there. So that's really what I was looking for. You can see it pulling back to 86.5. I did see 86.25 there for a second. I'm not particularly inclined to go long here, although it may bounce really well. 818, so this is our new 3-minute candle. So let's jump into the 3-minute chart. So cooling continues. 5.6 to 5.4 to 5.1. And I was saying a move down to the 9 EMA. There's at 85.5. We got right above it at 86. Ugh. 5.4 to 5.1 TCM3. Next candle is going to be at 21 on the 3. jump to the 1 minute chart and see what's going on. You can see continue cooling. So I think the move down to 86 was the right move on the short. We got out with like 1 tick of profit, but now we're going to be looking for some leveling off happening on the TTM1 and a potential switch back to cyan. We did pull back to 86, held support there for 3 candles straight. We could just reject off here, reject off the 9 and pull back down to 85. 3.8 to 3.0 to 2.4 on the TTM. Coming up on 820, which is a new 5-minute candle. Let's jump to this 5 real quick. 5-minute candle opening green. 5.9 to 5.7 to 5.7 on the TTM. And popping up to 88. 2.4 to 2.0 on the TTM, 1 minute side. Popping up there towards 88 from 86. This candle opening around 87, popping up to 89. Looking strong. TTM says a different story, but we could pull back. I might try and enter off of 88. Not for this large move. Just gonna look for 3 ticks off of 88 up to 88 3/4. See if we even pull back that far. New candle is actually pushing up more, so gonna cut that trade and look for another entry point. Join the bid off of 89 and looking to get out 89 3/4. TTM continuing to cool, so I may not actually stay in this trade much. Just gonna try to get the 1 tick out of it and get out. There we go, we got it. We're up 1600 on the day. It may push up. It looks like it's gonna push up, but with the TTM cooling off like that, I'm hesitant to trust that it's going to continue to push up. I think it might based off the chart movement, but off the TTM movement, I decided that I didn't want to continue with the risk, so I cut it with a tiny profit. Up 1600 on the day in the sim, up 268.90 in the evaluation. No worries. Enjoy scraping snow and ice off the car. If y'all are chilling, y'all hanging out, make sure you like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications. We are streaming while being incredibly sick, but I think that it's important to show up, even if we're sick. I think it's important. By the way, guys, we do have an awesome Discord community as well. If you guys are not a part of that, it's called Optimistic Futures. We would love to have you there. There's a link in the description. I'll also type the link out here inside the chat. So it's just joelstraight.com/Discord. Y'all can just go straight there, or there's a link in the description as well. But we would love to have you there. We have an awesome community of people from all over, talking to everything from entrepreneurship to trading to Forex to futures to investing, dividends, crypto, you name it, we're talking about it. Join the community. We'd love to have you there. Basically, come with your positive attitude and your positive mindset and your optimism, and we will help you in any way that we possibly can. Because it's really a place where everybody is there to learn and learn from each other, and it's one thing I love the most about our community. But yeah, guys, join in. We'd love to have you. You can see we're riding around this 90 here. We got this Mario candle. And we do have a Mario candle, but we are continuing to cool in the TTM. And if it were for the coolage on the TTM, I would be entering in this trade right now, but I may just do it anyway, because we do got that Mario candle and we are pushing above it, looking for that 1 minute candle to make a new high, but this has to close above this wick, which is closing above 90 and a half. So I got to see this close above 90.5 in order to be interested in taking this trade. That is in 19 seconds, so I won't actually know if this is going to close for another 15 seconds if it's going to close above the Mario candle and above the previous high. It's looking like it might. 2 seconds left on a doji. Closed on a doji. So it could go either direction. Usually a doji at the top means a push back down, and a doji at the bottom means a push back up. You can see here's a doji at the bottom that pushed back up. Here's a doji at the top that pushed back down. Here's another doji at the top that also pushed back down. So you can see it's pretty consistent. When a doji's at the top of a move, there's a high probability that it's going to push down. And when a doji's at the bottom of a move, there's a high probability that it's going to push up. So it's not enough probability for me to want to take trades off of it, but it's more of a knowledge point, like a data point. So when I see it, a lot of times I'm not going to be like, oh, there's a doji on the bottom, I'm buying. Although I have done that trade before successfully. I've seen it doji before and go the other way. It's not a rule, it's more of a data point or guidance point. So it's just information that I can use to be like, okay, well, there's a doji at the top. I'm just not going to be in a trade right now, which is exactly what I made, the decision I made right here. I was like, there's a doji at the top. I'm not going to take that trade. I'm not going to be in a trade because doji at the top, high likelihood it's going to pop downward, but it could have just easily pushed upward. So it's just the point of guidance, really. And you can see this is even dojiing out right here at this 9 EMA after this micro move back down to the downside. But super micro move and bouncing off of it. We're at 826, almost at 827. So I think we're coming up on a 3 minute candle. You can see on the 3 minute side, we're still stacking TTM cyan from 5.5 to 5.9 to 6.5 to 6.8. So very micro movement up towards this top here. It's kind of weird to see how little volatility there is after such a bullish day. Because it's really just been like consolidated within like a dollar range. It's incredibly small. There we go. We're tapping new highs now. Up at 91 and a half. Throat is hurting. Pulling back down to 91, 90 and a half now. Pulling down off that high, making a high on a red. By the way, if you guys are chilling, hanging out, make sure you like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications. Let's push up to 235 subscribers today. We're just 3 subscribers away from that. I'd love to have our community hit 235, and hopefully a good portion of those people actually join in the Discord group. Right now, only about 10% of people who subscribe join in the Discord group, and only about 20% of people who actually watch this channel typically pretty consistently actually subscribe. So by all means, guys, hit that subscribe button and let's push those numbers up. Let's build this community. This is a community where everybody has a lot of opportunity to win. And I say that because this is one of the few communities that is going to be there and actually help you guys in anything that we possibly can. We're just kind of chopping out around this top here. In all honesty, it wouldn't be such a bad thing for us to fall back down so that we can take another run at this. VWAP is down at 77. We were streaming now for about an hour. VWAP's at 77 and we're up at 89. So we're about $12 away from VWAP. Getting close on the 1 minute chart to a 26 crossover to the downside potential. You can see here's the 26 simple moving average and the 12 exponential moving average. If this 26 gets above this 12, there's a high likelihood that we're going to push back down to around the EMA 35 or possibly even lower. And it's getting really close to that. It's getting close to that on a cyan from the TTM, but again, because of the lack of volatility in much of today's movement, the TTM has been less reliable than it normally is for us. But a nice crossover move pulling back would actually make the TTM be more reliable after the pullback. If we get it. It looks like we're gonna. Tempted to short here for the anticipation of the move, but I need confirmation. I'm not going to take anticipatory moves because in the past I've done that and just had it just go opposite what we thought it was going to do. I am like 80% confident that this is going to continue to push downward and that we're going to get that 26 crossover, but 80% is not like 98%. New candle inbound. So there's the 1226 crossover on the downside on this current candle. You can see it's trying to pop on the doji at the bottom. 9 is below 12 slightly. Gonna go for 4 ticks, but right here at the EMA 35. So it did end up working out. A short would have been a very good move off that. But again, we're trying to take these anticipation moves because I've seen them reject. The majority of the time, they don't reject to the downside. They tend to reject if they're going to the upside. Pulling back now to the 50 EMA. I might look for an entry off the 35, which is at 86 and a half. I'll put it at 86 and a quarter. Let's see if I can get in. We're currently at 85 and a quarter. So we'll see if this pops up a little bit and gives us an entry off of, I'm going to go to 86. Entered short at 86, and I'm looking for a push down now to 85. We do have, so the 50 EMA there is right at, okay, so there's that 85. So we did make that. That was another 200 in our pocket in the sim side. So we're up 1,800 on the day. I'm trying to go short more frequently, especially since it's pretty obvious that we're entering a recession. So I want that capability to be able to go short on a consistent basis and be able to play that downside. I think it's incredibly important to be well-rounded while also being sharp. Dipping below the 50 EMA, but you can see some support happening at 85. 85, like that support there would really be support along the 50 EMA. So this pullback, I'm actually really happy that we got it. Not just because we got that short move off of it, but because it really needed to do this. Because up here, this price action was almost kind of unpredictable because of just how flat it was and like just very slowly grinding, like tick by tick up. It's challenging to take trades when it's like that. So this pullback here will likely give us some opportunity for that consolidation period to actually take place, and then some more volume and momentum moves to happen. You can see our contract size what's happening, not our contract size, but the volume uh, per candle is around 1,500 per candle, which is pretty low. We really want to see it closer to like 2,000 to 3,000, and 4,000 is more ideal. Volume is the number one indicator of volatility, and without volume, you can't really have a lot of volatility. So that's where you get these sort of like grinding kind of days, like what we're seeing today. At least the grinding is giving us predictable price action, though, so it's not all bad, because we do have enough volume to see that there's price action, but we lack the volume to see like larger momentum moves. But definitely scalps are available. 1 tick, 2 tick, 3 tick, 4 tick, redfish, bluefish, all that. And we are officially out of tea. You can see the pushback down on the 50 EMA. TTM looking like 1.3 to 1.7 to 2.1, moving at a factor of 0.4 on the downside. So what we'd be really looking for now is a red to yellow move. So that, when I say red to yellow, I mean red to yellow on 1 minute TTM right here. We'd be looking for a yellow candle to get put in, and that would give us an indication that we're going to see a pretty decent move toward the upside. So I like to take that move. It's one of my favorite moves, one of the most reliable. My accuracy rating on is like 98%. So my accuracy rating on that particular move is incredibly high, which is one of the reasons why I really like it. It's definitely a cornerstone in my strategy. So we did bounce up the 50 EMA there from 85.5 up to resistance of the 12 at 87. And now we're pulling back to the EMA 35. So if we can see continued bounces off of here, then the likelihood of that red to yellow move is pretty is higher. You can see we went from 1.8 rounding to 1.8 from it's 1.79 to 2.0. So movement of about 0.2 to the downside to 2.2. So again, a movement about 0.2. You can see the gradually, like the leveling off happening. We were moving at 0.5. Now we're moving at 0.2. So now we want to see it basically go flat and then switch from red to yellow and move up from there. 2.2 to 2.5, movement at 0.3 to the downside, now 2.4. But it is looking decent for a move upward potential. But again, I'm looking for that red yellow move. I may just take this because it's like I said, it's looking decent. There's that pop. Look for an entry off of 87, which was originally the entry I was considering taking to begin with. Did enter on 87. I'm looking for a move up to 88. Hit resistance there at the 26 SMA, which is at 87 3/4. 2.0 to 2.2 to 2.3 on the TTM. You can see that leveling off happening. Switching over to the evaluation side, hoping to see that red yellow happen for a potential move up, but not at 5 ticks, not with this kind of movement on the day. So switched over to 3 ticks, and on the sim side, we're actually down 3 ticks. 2.4 to 2.6 on TTM, so 2.2, 2.4, 2.6. Movement of 0.2, possible crossover inbound. Gonna switch to the 3-minute chart and just take a look and see what we got going on here. You can see continued cooling on the TTM, 6.0 to 5.5 to 5.0, moving about a half a point to the downside on the TTM3. Back at break even in this trade at 87. Jumping to the 5-minute chart, and you can see on the 5-minute chart, we're actually getting a cyan candle. You can see 6.6 down to 6.2, and then popping back up to 6.3 at 8:35. And it's currently 8:39. So in less than a minute, we'll have a new 5-minute candle, and I think that that new 5-minute candle may actually give us some pretty nice moves. You can see possible crossover of the 1226 moving averages on the 1-minute chart, and again moving 2.4 to 2.5 to 2.6. You see that red to yellow inbound.
Order
Joined
filled.
the bid at 87.5 on the evaluation side, and looking to move at 88.25, which this thing did already tap, but hasn't filled out yet. Gonna actually put this just 2 ticks up now. Currently break even in this trade, and I'm looking to get out of 88. Tapped my sell order but didn't hit it. 2 seconds left in this, and we're down in this trade now. Down 3 ticks. Looking for that to push back up. Push, push, push. Nope. Push into the wrong direction. Currently we're at our risk level, and this currently puts us red on the day. Probably gonna have to cut this trade. If it drops anywhere below that 50 EMA, I've got to get out. We're already down far more than I want to see on the evaluation side, but it is pulling back up some. Near break even now.
Order filled.
Okay, so we did get that trade. That was kind of a sketchy trade since it pulled all the way back to the 50 EMA, but we did end with profit there. Our trailing max drawdowns at 1989, and we're up 372.10 on the day, which has been our daily profit pretty much every single day that we've been trading in this evaluation. We're up $1,129.40 in the evaluation out of 3,000. Jumping into the sim side, and movement of 2.4 to 2.2 on the red to yellow. This didn't move with very much momentum, but it does look like it can push. The momentum issue really is the lack of volume. The lack of liquidity in the market is making this challenging for a lot of these breakouts to happen. And that's really a lot of it is because during this week, a lot of people are going to be transferring or rolling over their contracts from the ESZ2 to the ESH3, which is still the E-mini S&P 500. Excuse me. It's just the 2023 first quarter contract. So continuing to pull back some. Really grateful that trade worked out. I wish it had originally worked out the way that we originally intended, especially because it tapped our sell order twice but didn't fill. But again, that's a liquidity issue that's happening in the market right now. 2.4 to 2.2 to 2.0 on the yellow side of the TTM 1-minute chart. Let's check in with that 5-minute candle that we were expecting. So it went from 6.3 to 6.4. Now you can see the cooling off there happening. Pretty slow day. We're up 2,000 in the sim. We're up 372.10 in the evaluation. So overall, really good trading day. Just incredibly slow movement on the charts. That's okay, so long as we, take our time to really trade effectively. My voice is all over the board because I've been dealing with it seems like a lot of the sickness is in the throat. I don't know if I have strep throat or something, but either way, it's on the mend. We're getting better, so that's a good thing. 1.9 to 1.7 on the TTM yellow. You can see this possible crossover 1226 inbound. It also looks like it's rejecting off of that. Yeah, you can see that rejection pulling back down to the 50 EMA now. So kind of forming an ABCD pattern. You see right here, there's the A, the B, kind of pulling into the C right now. And I think the next move potential would be the D, which would be the switch from the yellow likely over to cyan on the TTM3, or sorry, the TTM1. just gonna check in with y'all. This has been a very long time since I checked in. We do have quite a few people hanging out here. If y'all are just chilling, y'all hanging out, please make sure you like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, and help the community grow. We are up $2,000 in the sim today. We're up $372.10 in our evaluation on the day. And if you guys are looking to earn funding in the futures market, make sure that you check out Elite Trader Funding. These guys are awesome. Elite Trader Funding allows you guys to earn funding as low as $10,000 and as high as $300,000 in the evaluations. This would actually give you access to trading with $300,000 so that you guys can actually trade with basically an entire house. Personally, I'm trying to earn funding in the $50,000 range, which allows me to take 8 contracts in the mini, 80 micros with a profit target of $3,000 and a $2,000 drawdown. Just make sure you click see more details so you can know all the rules and regs to actually earning funding in the future market. And make sure you use the link in the description and the promo code JSBEST so that you can lock in a lifetime discount on any of the plans that you see here, with the exception of the fast track evaluations, as these are already heavily discounted. That you can see here, you can get 100K for just $75. Personally, I actually really like the one-step evaluations. I think these are one of the best values in the market right now, but there are other styles, like at the end of the day, drawdown evaluations that you'll find in most traditional platforms. So let's take a look at the charts again and see where we're at. We are finally getting a push, finally, on this current candle here. Picked a good time to come back to the charts. You see move from 1.7 to 1.5 to 1.2 to 0.8 with a red dot forming on the TTM1. Looks like 9 is beginning to get above the 12. We're coming in for a 26-12 crossover. It was a nice pump, like a nice little push on that candle. Take a look at the volume on that. It was 2,400, whereas our other volume has been like 1,500, which is why I say volume is the #1 indicator of volatility. If you want to see price action, you need to see volume first. 9 is still slightly above 12. Pulling back after a little pop-up there. Might enter at 88 if I can. I think I may have missed my op. I did. Pulling back. Sorry, let's see. New candle forming now. I did miss my op on that entry. 9 is kissing the 26. We have a possible crossover inbound. You can see a switch from yellow to cyan. 0.5 to 0.5 negative on the yellow side. Sorry, 0.5. And then to 0.06 on the positive side, the cyan TCM. Pulling back to 88.75. Looking for an entry off 88.25. Got that. Looking for a move up to 89.25. So looking for 4 ticks to the upside, which would increase our profit on the day by about 10%. Pulling back to 87.5. All right, there's that pop. There we go. We did get that trade up 2,200 on the day. In the sim side, that was a very nice trade. That would have been a reasonable trade in the evaluation. But the reason why I took that in the sim and not the eval side had more to do with the lower momentum on the TTM. But it did look like a pretty nice trade. Bounced from 88.25 up to 89.75. Upwick on this current candle, and we're currently at 8:48. So we have a new 3-minute candle inbound, or here already, I should say. So up to the 3-minute chart. Could come up and test these highs. 3-minute chart looking decent. 4.2 to 3.9. So kind of leveling off on the TTM, which is good because if we see this level off, let's switch back to cyan. likely get another move up. Coming up, test these highs now. We're at like 89 and highs at 92. So we're about $3 away from the high. Just checking in with y'all. It's looking very nice. We have this you can see that ABCD pattern that formed there, and you can see that we're switching to cyan pretty clearly now. 0.7 to 1.3. So moves off of 89. See if we can enter at 89 and get out at 90. There's an entry at 89. Looking for a push up to 90. I don't. This candle ended up closing down at this level here. I like more like this candle. We didn't get that upwick, so I'm probably just gonna cut this trade. Yeah, cut that trade. So we ended up losing the 200 that we just made. Now up 2,000 on the day in the sim side. And of course it pops right after we cut it, but you know. So coming up on the top of the hour, but guys, I'm actually starting to get some brain fade. The sickness, I can tell, started to interfere with my trading as well as my talking. So with all that said, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and jump off for the day, leaving a little bit earlier than we normally do, but I'm gonna nurse this illness, whatever it is. So guys, I'm gonna go ahead and jump off here. But before I do, I would like to ask you guys to join in our Discord community. We have an awesome community there that is growing little by little. It's currently small but very active, and we have a lot of people talking about everything from futures to entrepreneurship to investing to dividends to forex, a bunch of different styles of trading, and a lot of knowledge and wisdom there amongst years of experience of traders from all over the globe. So guys, we would love to have you join in that Discord group. There's a link in the description. So make sure you guys click that and join on in the community. Before you take off, please like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications. And also, once again, if you are funding in the futures market, check out Elite Trader Funding. These guys are awesome. Wonderful customer service. You can earn funding as low as $10K and as high as $300,000. Just make sure you use that link in the description and the promo code JSBEST to lock in a lifetime discount. All right, guys. I love and appreciate each and every one of you in the community here. We will see you guys tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. Pacific, 10:30 market time. And stay safe out there in the market. It's going to be a very volatile week. Today is kind of the calm before the storm. So I don't know that I would base this week's trading off of today's trading because I know we have Jerome Powell speeches tomorrow, CPI data, Fed rate hike data, and quad witching this week. So big week ahead for the futures market. Today feels like the calm before the storm. So we'll see you guys in the Discord group where I'm about to post my results on the day, and would love to see you in there. Thank you so much. Peace out, optimists. We'll see you tomorrow. Much love and appreciation for being here and supporting the channel. Peace.